Long before dinosaurs, before forests, or even soil, our world was an alien ocean, silent, empty, waiting. Then, something extraordinary happened. Life exploded. Have you ever wondered what our planet was like half a billion years ago? Long before dinosaurs, long before even the first trees, there was a time so bizarre, so alien, it's almost beyond imagination. This was the Cambrian period, and it hosted an event so dramatic it's called the Cambrian Explosion. So, grab your virtual time machine, because we're about to dive into the primeval seas of ancient Earth. Before the Cambrian, life was, well, a bit boring. For billions of years, it was mostly single-celled organisms, slime, and simple, soft-bodied creatures like jellyfish ancestors. The oceans were quiet. But then, around 541 million years ago, something incredible happened. Over a geological blink of an eye, just a few tens of millions of years, the ocean suddenly erupted with a dazzling array of complex animal life. It was like nature flipped a switch, and the blueprints for nearly all major animal groups we know today were sketched out. So, what did this ancient world look like? Forget lush green continents. The land was barren and rocky, more like Mars than modern Earth. There were no plants, no soil, no insects buzzing around. All the action was happening underwater. The supercontinent Rodinia had broken apart, and a new one, Gondwana, was forming in the southern hemisphere. This created vast, shallow, warm continental shelves, the perfect nurseries for life to experiment. The atmosphere was also different. Oxygen levels were rising, but they were still much lower than today, maybe around 10 to 15%. This increase in oxygen was a game changer. It provided the high-octane fuel needed for larger bodies and more active lifestyles. More energy meant animals could move faster, grow bigger, and develop complex structures like shells, skeletons, and eyes. And oh, the creatures. The Cambrian seas were a surreal menagerie. Floating through the water, you'd see Anomalocaris, the apex predator of its time. Imagine a creature up to a meter long, with two spiked arms at the front for grabbing prey, a circular mouth full of sharp plates, and huge compound eyes on stalks. It was the T-Rex of the Cambrian, a true sea monster. Scuttling along the seafloor were the trilobites. These were the rock stars of the Cambrian. They were arthropods, distant relatives of insects and crabs, and they came in thousands of different species. Some were smooth, some were spiny, some could roll up into a ball for protection. They were incredibly successful, and their fossils are found all over the world, giving us a fantastic window into this period. But the weirdness doesn't stop there. Look, there's Hallucigenia, a creature so strange that when scientists first found its fossils, they couldn't figure out which way was up. It was a tiny, worm-like animal walking on 7 pairs of stilt-like spines, with tentacles waving from its back. For decades, paleontologists debated what was its head and what was its tail. And what about Opabinia? This thing had 5 eyes on its head, and a long, flexible proboscis, like a vacuum cleaner hose, with a claw at the end. It likely used this bizarre appendage to hunt for soft-bodied worms in the mud. Can you imagine a world where creatures like this were the norm? It was a time of wild, evolutionary experimentation. For the first time in Earth's history, we see clear evidence of predator-prey relationships. This is what many scientists believe fueled the explosion. The development of the first true predators created immense evolutionary pressure. If you didn't want to be lunch for an Anomalocaris, you had to get creative. This led to an arms race. Animals developed hard shells for protection, like the trilobites. Others became expert burrowers, hiding in the sediment. And some, like predators, developed better senses, most importantly, vision. The evolution of the eye was perhaps the single most important development of the Cambrian explosion. Before this, the world was a blurry, dim place. But with the first complex eyes, animals could see their environment, find food, and spot danger from a distance. The world went from black and white to high-definition color, and this new sensory input drove a surge in brain complexity and behavioral diversity. One of the most remarkable fossil sites from this period is the Burgess Shale in Canada. It's a treasure trove of perfectly preserved soft-bodied fossils, giving us an unparalleled glimpse into this lost world. Without places like the Burgess Shale, we would know very little about the squishy, weird wonders that didn't have hard shells to fossilize. we'd see the trilobites, but we miss the hallucigenia and opabinia that made the ecosystem so rich. So what caused this sudden burst of life? It's one of the biggest puzzles in paleontology, and there's no single answer. It was likely a perfect storm of factors. The rising oxygen levels provided the fuel. The changing geography of the continents created new, shallow water habitats. The end of a major global ice age, known as Snowball Earth, may have infused the oceans with nutrients. And the evolution of predation created the ecological pressure. It was the right combination of environmental, genetic, and ecological triggers all happening at once. Think of it like this. For billions of years, life was just simmering on the back burner. The Cambrian Explosion was when someone turned up the heat, threw in a bunch of new ingredients, and stirred the pot. The result was a spectacular dish of biodiversity. Everything that came after, from the first fish, to the dinosaurs, to mammals, to us, has its deepest ancestral roots in the strange and wonderful waters of the Cambrian. The body plans, the basic genetic toolkits for building an animal, were largely established during this incredible evolutionary frenzy. This ancient world, with its barren lands and vibrant, alien-filled seas, is a crucial chapter in our own story. It reminds us that our planet has gone through radical transformations and that life has always found a way, not just to survive, but to innovate and flourish in the most spectacular ways. The Cambrian Explosion wasn't just an event in deep time. It was the biological Big Bang that set the stage for the entire animal kingdom. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. It's truly mind-blowing to think about the world that existed right here, under our feet, 500 million years ago. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Earth's history, please hit that like button and subscribe for more adventures into the past. Let me know in the comments which Cambrian creature you find the weirdest. See you in the next video.